Hello everybody, welcome to episode number 5 in the Nice Like That video cookery collection. Razor Boys Baked Spaghetti. This will be a 2 meat, 3 cheese baked spaghetti. Mrs. RB, we're going to be using her homemade spaghetti sauce. And I asked her, I said, dear, why don't you just give me the recipe for this and I will fix it. And she quickly said, no, because if you know what's in it, you will not eat it. What am I supposed to think? She slowly poisoning me. Do I need to go and get with the containers of chemicals underneath the sink, put little mark lines on the levels of them to find out if she's feeding me bug killer? She's introducing some kind of diabolical natural female components into my food to facilitate mind control. I have been agreeing with her a lot lately, which is kind of out of character for me. Perhaps she has turned a root on me, as they say. I don't know, but either way, she's going to make a spaghetti sauce. I digress. She will make the sauce. I'm going to put everything together. It's going to be good. It's going to be real good. I think you're going to enjoy it. I think you're going to learn a little something. It's going to have Italian sausage. It's going to have a half pound of ground beef. We're going to have mushrooms in it. It's going to be some onions in it. It's going to be 3 kinds of cheeses. You're going to have provolone. You'll have one layer that has mozzarella, and you will have a little bit of Parmesan cheese in there. It's all going together once it's cooked into the oven with the cheese on it, melted, come out in casserole form. Tastes so good, make your tongue slap your brains out. Viewer mail. I got one this week. And for a change, it was something fairly positive. It comes from Tom D. in Palmyra, Virginia. And Tom, I appreciate you writing in. This is after this is pertaining to the episode 4 RB Special Chuck Roast. He says, dude, that was awesome. You're like the country boys version of Emerald. Damn, now I'm hungry as hell. Well, good. I am glad that it made you hungry as hell by witnessing that video. As far as the country boy version of Emerald goes, that would make a pretty decent t-shirt, but I'm pretty sure Mr. Lagasse's legal team would have my big butt in court over something like that, so we'll probably hold off on the t-shirt. But I appreciate the sentiment, I really do. All right, peeps, let's get together. Let's go on in the kitchen. Let's go ahead and start this thing up. What we're going to do, get the veggies ready for the cook. We're going to need onions and garlic for the sauce. I've got a large onion diced. I've got 2, 4, 6 cloves of garlic. I've got a container of mushrooms here now. What we're going to do with these mushrooms, I want them all about this size. Okay, so we're going to take the big ones and we're going to cut them. While I'm doing that, I'm going to tell you a story. Oh boy, I knew one time was a stockbroker in New York and made a lot of money on the stock market. I mean, he really made his fortune by the time he was about 35 years old. But the rat race got to be too much for him. He sold everything he had, took all his money, bought him a big lot of property out in Wyoming. Decided he was going to return to the land, build him a log cabin. He's out there like 2 months putting this thing together, man. He's got no electricity. He's got no running water. His cabin coming along pretty good. For about 2 months one day, he's out there and working on his roof, and kind of startled, he sees this old timer ride up on a mule. The old timer says, howdy, neighbor. He says, neighbor? He said, I didn't think anybody else was out here. He goes, oh, no, I'm your nearest neighbor. He says, I live a few miles over that way. The guy said, man, he said, so nice to hear another human voice. I've been out here a couple months and haven't talked to anybody. He goes, yeah, I know, I've been watching you from a distance. And I see you almost got your place built up, so I reckon you're going to stay. And I wanted to have a little welcome to the neighborhood party, housewarming party for you, over my place. I said, man, that's real nice. He says, I got to warn you, though. He said, going to be some drinking. I said, hey, that's cool. He said, I didn't bring that much with me. And he said, after about 2 weeks, all my liquor was gone. He said, I hadn't had drinking over 6 weeks. I'm ready for one. The old timer said, good. He said, I got to tell you, though, he said, you know, a party like that, he says, alcohol involved, he says, there'll be some fighting. I said, that's all right. He said, I don't really start the trouble. He said, but I can hold my own. He says, you know, it comes down to it and I got to fight, then there'll be a fight. You know, it is what it is. The guy said, good. He said, I'm glad you feel like that. He said, I got to tell you though, he said, party like that, he said, well, I'll be some sex. The guy said, hey, he said, that's right up my alley. He said, I've been out here 2 months. He goes, you know, I'm not going to turn anything down, you know. The old guy said, good. He said, I'll be glad to have you. He turns his mule around, starts to ride off. The guy says, oh, hold on, man. He goes, what time do I need to be there? What should I wear? Old guy stops the mule and turns around and looks at him and he goes, well, it really don't much matter what time you get there. He said, anytime after 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock be fine. He said, as far as what you wear, he said, that doesn't matter either. He said, ain't nobody going to be there but me and you. All right, folks, if you notice, see if I can get up on that a little bit there. Come on, yeah. There we go. Old Hickory. That is an Ontario Knife Works butcher knife, folks. Classic butcher knife. If you ever run across one, I know a lot of you hippies like to go to flea markets. Well, you know what? If you ever see one of these and it's got Ontario Knife Works on the blade, it's kind of hard to see. Right up in there. It's got the logo on it, but it says Old Hickory on the handle. It should have Ontario Knife Works on the blade. Get it. Best butcher knife you ever owned in your life. No doubt about it. All right, what we're doing here, I've got my water for my noodles. We're using linguine, flat spaghetti noodle, basically. Originally, we had intended to go to the store and show us actually purchasing this food, but you know what? Thanks to you, William, and you know what store you belong to, okay? That would be the one that I'll never shop in again. You wouldn't let us film in your store, so screw you, all right? It was all in good fun. It would have been done in good taste. I don't care what kind of store rules you got. I don't care what kind of corporate rules you got. F you. Nobody cares. All I wanted to do was show us in your store, hey, what probably would have been good for you somewhere along the way. No, you couldn't have it. All right. At any rate, I've got my Italian sausage in this skillet here. We're going to brown it off. We're going to cook it. When I'm done, I will take this Old Hickory, sharp as a razor, shave with it if I wanted to, cut this thing into small bite-sized chunks. Then I'll go ahead and brown off my ground beef. I'm only using a half pound of ground beef because I'm using about just a little bit less than a pound of sausage. That pan there will hold Mrs. RB's special spaghetti sauce once she decides to get on in here and fix it. At this point, we're kind of working around her inability to be somewhere on time. So, what? Who said that? We're going to go ahead and brown this stuff off, folks, get it sizzling good and everything. Got the vegetables cut. Going to get the meat ready. Going to get the water ready for the noodles. It's all good. It's all going to work out. All right. Ground beef in the pan. Sausage is ready to be cut up into bite-sized chunks. I let the sausage grease in the pan. My dear wife, bless her heart, said, at what point will you be pouring the grease off? And I said, well, dear, just as soon as I cook the hamburger, I will certainly pour the grease off. But you know what? Between me and you, where is she, JR? She's not in here when this is done, and it's not like a whole puddle of grease sitting in that thing. Guess what? There ain't none of that getting dumped. It's all good. It's going to make it a whole lot better tasting.